Coffee with the Editor is proudly brought to you by IRZ and the Railway Safety Regulator, RSR.
Thank you, Kevin. Lovely to see you here at the Rail Safety Regulators Conference, the annual conference. The topic is safety, so it's quite pertinent that you are here.
Yeah, I think it's important for us. Safety is everyone's responsibility, so it's not a case of the regulator or the operator. At the end result is to keep commuters safe. And also, what was interesting for me, it's not just about safety, it's about safety and the place of safety and the way we will go forward in the fourth industrial revolution. So I found it very interesting, I must also say, and compliment the RSR on a very well organized conference. I'm impressed the attendance is still high, the delegates with the right caliber of people, and the topics were well selected.
I found it to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Really, really good. So safety is everybody's responsibility.
Yeah.
And the fourth industrial revolution, what do you see as trends coming through?
Well, when we spoke and also on the conference, we are basically between revolutions, I would call that. And I would say, as Siemens and Siemens Mobility, in the business we operate in rail and road, safety is the underlying and the core of what we do in our people, in our behavior, in our processes, our systems, and our products, obviously, or our solutions to it. And we strive for high level in rail. It is extremely high, especially when you are moving passengers. And it's not always about the system or technology only. It's about the way people interact with that. And that's what I also like here. This came out and we had some experts in ergonomics and human factors. That was the session that I chaired. And it was amazing that this is starting to play a more dominant role. So the question was asked, will people fail the system or will systems fail people? And
very good question.
And I think for us, this is where we have to step back and say, how do we treat our employees in the future? What do we get them to focus on? And when they're interacting with customers, what sort of solutions, what angles do we take to make sure we put the right solutions down? And at the end, the operators are looking for that. They're looking for solutions that are relevant, solutions that are affordable, and solutions that are safe and reliable. And the regulator also looking for the same thing. So for me, I take back a lot of learnings, probably a different way of looking at safety and the fourth industrial revolution going forward. But I think as Siemens, we have in place all the stones, the right stepping stones for it. We are one of the leaders in digital technologies going forward in 4IR worldwide. And I think it's a matter of now bringing the right solution and the right fit to the table.
Absolutely. And then, I know signalling has been a big topic here at the conference as well. Cross are really struggling with that. But it is being addressed. I mean, I know you up in Gauteng. So it can't all be bad. It will all be coming right and online soon, or...
It's actually online as we speak. We currently have delivered, I would think it's now more than 54 stations. We're about 85% complete with our project and our rollout. It is a world-class technology, including the Gauteng Nerve Center. And from a technological perspective, we're not concerned. I think what we have is futuristic, it's world-class. We can only improve, and the next layers that come onto it are things like, plus I call it in-cab signaling, or ETCS as you call it, or ERTMS. But it's the overlay system that will really allow us to become more automated, more safety related, where we take away some of the ability of human beings to make errors.
Yes.
And this is where we should go, and it's what was planned, and I'm hopeful that this gets implemented now. It's about time we start implementing this and not talking about it anymore. From our side, we do everything we can to make the system more safe, more reliable. And it's also not just the big bang approach. Other big topics that are needed in the South African environment are level crossings, for example. In Botswana, we are implementing 8-level crossings now. So a small country like Botswana that has really taken a bold step forward. And I saw the regulator from Botswana is here also. So it's our duty to prove that these systems can work, they can be automated, and they can be integrated into the local environments, under the local conditions. And that's, I think, what we do here. We are working for local content in the region of 65%. We have 200 employees. So we are set to do it. I see a good future.
But I'd like to see like one of our heavy haul lines completely automated.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. I think it would bring about tremendous efficiency.
It's not far down the line, and I'm always saying that technology is not the problem. It is available. We also don't need to redesign solutions. They are available. We've got to bring it here and adapt it. But I think when we come to 4IR, I think it's a very important thing to note, because it is a bit of uncharted grounds for most of us. It's not going to happen on its own.
No.
And as the leadership of institutions, state-owned enterprises, including OEMs like ourselves, we have to take the ownership to drive specific initiatives. So you got to pick something and you got to drive it. Otherwise, it's not going to happen, and 4IR will be a talk and a talk and a talk.
And it will be a 10IR by the time
exactly. The 5th, 6th, 7th industrial revolution.
What do you think the biggest challenge is? Funding?
I think for me there are 3 challenges that I see. I think funding is one of them, but I think the government will work around that and make that available, because the demand is there and the need is important. I think the other bigger challenge we have is the theft and vandalism. As much as we implement more and we become more modernized, we need the basics to happen. And the basics is that rail property should not be for everyone's access. It's not a free ground.
No, it's a rail reserve. These prices will be prosecuted.
And we need to get that done. We need to institute rules and regulations around that. And I hate to be a rules and regulations person, but it needs to happen. And we can start to protect the assets better. And the third issue that I see, or the third challenge, is the participation of local communities. And it's a deserving right in some of the places. But we've got to find the right process for it to happen. And I think also there must be a common understanding that it's not practical that everyone participates. So we need to implement the right programs on it, which is what we are doing, working with local communities in all our lines, Soweto Corridor, Pretoria, etc. And it works when it works well, but the disruptions that you get out of it can also start to hamper the project quite severely. The opportunities they're looking for is basic employment, so to help with works along the line. They are looking for opportunities to supply material or supply services. And I must say, in a lot of cases, I can understand it. And I must say also, it works well.
Okay,
we have had situations where the community participates, they want to work, they rock up to work, they follow the rules, they follow the regulations. It's a learning in some cases, but they really give us the service that we want. So I think it can work, but the parts that make it impractical is you're working along a line and after 3 kilometers you switch over to the next community.
Okay.
So you're always learning on a project and you're always teaching, and then there's that inefficiency that's not costed in projects. It's not paid for. This is, for me, the thing is, the trick would be to find the balance. Because you cannot satisfy everyone.